Today on Steelers Talk, I'm going to tell you why Justin Fields, the newly acquired backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is not the long-term plan for the Steelers at the quarterback position, at least not right now, all right? So make sure you bear with me here. If you disagree with this, I'm going to be breaking down my reasons here in just a second, so make sure you guys stick around. But also, make sure you guys give me a follow on X or Instagram here. I'm at Jack_Sperry on X. I am at SpareDog.football on Instagram. I'm putting out additional content on there for you guys for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the NFL draft, the whole 9 yards here. And then also I just put out a new mock draft for the NFL. So make sure you guys check that out right now at Jack_Sperry on X. It is my pinned tweet to find my new mock draft. So let's just jump right into this here. And I'm just going to let you guys know this right now. All right, so you're not surprised when next offseason comes around. Justin Fields is not being brought in with this trade here, which I'm a fan of, by the way. He is not being brought in to be Russell Wilson's replacement, all right? He is being brought in as a high-end number 2 option at the quarterback position who can keep the season afloat if needed, okay? Like if Russell Wilson is playing well and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, Justin Fields, he comes in, your season's not completely lost, all right? Out of the options that were available for your backup quarterback, like Justin Fields blows Ryan Tannehill and Josh Dobbs and all these different guys out of the water, all right? So the Steelers were like, how can we maximize the backup quarterback position? And they're like, Justin Fields only costs a 6th-round pick, so let's go do that, all right? So they bring in a high-end QB2 option, but also he is a high upside contingency plan if Russell Wilson doesn't work out, whether he ends up retiring after this year or let's say he stinks this year, all right? You can bring in Justin Fields, and if he plays well towards the end of the season and he proves himself, then it's like, okay, we got somebody that's still young, who has incredible athletic upside. He's shown some promise in this offense. Now we can move forward with him as our long-term option. But really, guys, the plan when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they want to happen and the way that they expect things to play out is that they're expecting Russell Wilson to play well this year for the team to win not only double-digit wins, but to get close to like 12, 13 wins and really compete for a Super Bowl. Then they want to lock him up for another contract, which will last around 2 to 4 seasons. Russell Wilson has made it very clear that he wants to play at least 5 more seasons in the National Football League and up to 7 more years. So listen, guys, let me be clear. Pittsburgh is not opposed to Justin Fields potentially becoming the long-term option at the quarterback position, just that it's not their plan for him right now. Right now, they're focused on Russell Wilson, and they believe that he is going to be their quarterback for the next 5 to 7 years. That's what the Steelers think right now, and they view Justin Fields as a really nice quarterback 2 option for this season, and if Russell Wilson doesn't pan out this year, then it's like, all right, well, we got another shot at it here with Justin Fields. That's the way that they view him. They don't necessarily view him as somebody where it's like, we have Russell Wilson for 1 year, and then we're going to put Justin Fields in as the new starter in 2025. That's not their thinking right now. That's not the way that they want to go. So listen, this is the one way that I could see Fields becoming the bona fide QB1 franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into not this season, but the 2025 season, okay? So Fields not only needs to play a good amount of snaps this year in 2024, but he also has to play well enough in those snaps for the team to fully commit to him as their next franchise quarterback heading into next year. All right, so you take a look at the stats right now between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, the 2 quarterbacks on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, you know, it's pretty clear to me that Russell Wilson right now is the better option. And again, Russell Wilson was playing in a situation there in Denver where it was a mismatched offensive scheme there with Sean Payton. His running game, his running backs were hurt all the time. The offensive line had issues at times, and the weapons were not as good. It was probably the most overhyped wide receiver room in football, okay? So, but despite that, he was number 2 in football among starters in adjusted completion percentage, right? The yards per attempt, same thing there between Russ and Justin, but then the touchdown percentage, Russ threw for a higher percentage, quite a bit higher, in my opinion anyway, 1.5 point difference there, then less interceptions as well per throw, and then the big-time throw percentage was around the same there, but Russell Wilson, in my opinion, was the better quarterback last year, and I think he's going to be the better option for the Steelers moving forward. And listen, guys, the reality is that it is possible that Justin Fields could get an opportunity to prove himself this year. It's one of the reasons why the Steelers brought him in, is because if things go terribly wrong, they wanted a nice high upside, young, athletic option at the quarterback position to turn to. But it's not likely, in my opinion, because there's two pretty big major roadblocks to Justin Fields even hitting the field as the starting quarterback in 2024. The first is that I think Russell Wilson is going to play really well in 2024. We'll go later into the video for my reasons why I think he's going to be really playing well for this team and the team is going to be winning games. But then also, Russ is super durable as a quarterback, and he even plays through injury. All right, so it's going to take a pretty major injury from Russ for Justin to even get a chance to play this year. And listen, you look at the stats for Justin Fields throughout his career, and they've gotten better every season. And that's all you can really ask for from a quarterback prospect. It started out really bad there in 2021, his rookie season. He had the worst protection in football, no weapons to work with. It was a similar story in 2022. Got slight improvement there. And then in 2023, the completion percentage continued to climb. He had a really decent end to his 2023 campaign, really started to win some games with the Bears as well. And of course, he has that dynamic rushing ability. But let's say that Russell Wilson plays the entire season in 2024. Then where are we left with Justin Fields? Because we don't have any frame of reference of what he looks like in this offense. And you're going into the 2025 offseason with Justin Fields likely hitting free agency, because I don't see the Steelers picking up his fifth-year option. And like I said, if Russ plays well and stays healthy and this team is winning and they're right in the Super Bowl hunt, they're going to lock him up long-term for another 2 to 4 year contract. And I really don't think that Justin Fields is going to want to re-sign with the Steelers for anything more than a 1-year contract, because Justin Fields is trying to take care of Justin Fields. Fields wants to get back as a legitimate starter in the National Football League, and he's going to be taking any opportunity that he can to start. So if they lock up Russell Wilson to another 2 to 4 year contract, why would it make sense for Justin Fields to be like, you know what, man, I'm just going to chill here and be a backup for another couple seasons, and then maybe, when Russ leaves in 4 years, I can finally take over as the starter? No, that's not the way that he's thinking. He's like, I'm going to take this 1 year to really work on myself, to learn from Russ, and then in 2025, I'm really going to try and get a starting opportunity, whether that be with the Steelers or whether that be with somebody else. Now, all these different things, make no mistake, I'm really happy that the Steelers got Justin Fields. I loved that Omar Khan fleeced Ryan Poles once again, all right? He just eats Ryan Poles for breakfast, pause. But I'm looking at, and I think that for what he's being brought in for, the value is definitely there. He's going to have a package for short yardage situations. He's going to have a package in the red zone and goal-to-go situations, all right? He's a good plan B in case Russell gets hurt or if he ends up stinking. All right, so for what he's being brought in for, I think it's absolutely worth the 6th-round pick that they're giving up. I'm just trying to tell you guys right now that the plan isn't for him to be QB1 heading into the 2025 season, all right? So now coming up here, I'm going to tell you why I believe Russell Wilson is that guy and why the Steelers absolutely believe in him as the quote-unquote long-term answer at the quarterback position. But before I get into that, we're about to get into our draft content here on Steelers Talk. We're going to have a bunch of videos. We're going to have in-depth scouting reports on all the top draft targets for the Pittsburgh Steelers, positional rankings at all the top positions of need. Also, we have weekly Steelers mock drafts. We actually put one out earlier today, so make sure you guys check that one out after today's video. And oh yeah, it's all 100% free. We got you guys covered with the best and most extensive Steelers draft coverage here on YouTube. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now and join our family. So plain and simple, guys, this is the way that it breaks down. They brought in Russell Wilson to be their starting quarterback, all right, for the next 5 to 7 years. And as long as the Steelers are in the mix with those Super Bowl contenders in the AFC, okay, they don't have to be the favorites. They just have to be in the mix. As long as they're in that mix and they could feasibly win a Super Bowl, Russ is going to be the quarterback one of this team until he either retires or the team just simply lets him go. And because of this, guys, I do think Russ is that quote-unquote long-term plan. Now, you might be saying at home, but Jack, Russell Wilson is so old. What the heck? How can he be a long-term option for this team at quarterback? Well, it's pretty easy, man. I mean, he's 35 years old, all right? He's not 40. All right, people talk about this guy like he's 80 years old and he only has one season left and Justin Fields needs to be brought in so that he can take his place next year. No, he's the same age as Kirk Cousins, who just got a 4-year mega extension or contract with the Atlanta Falcons. All right, so they expect him to be there for another 4 or 5 years. I mean, why can't we expect the same from Russell Wilson here? And listen, with the way Russell takes care of his body, all right, he invests more than any other quarterback in the National Football League now that Tom Brady's out of the picture with physical wellness, all right? So with the way that he takes care of his body, he can easily play, in my opinion, another 4 to 5 years, and it honestly wouldn't shock me if he ends up accomplishing his goal here of getting to that 7th year, 7 more years in the league, and 7 years is an eternity in the National Football League, guys, all right? So, I mean, if we're going to be talking about long-term options, if you got a quarterback that could be here for the next 5 to 7 years and you're trying to win Super Bowls now, I see this as a very viable option for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. And it's not like Russell Wilson is like falling off a cliff. Look at these stats just from last season. An incredible touchdown to interception percentage, or ratio, I should say. The adjusted completion percentage was top 5 in football. The catchable and on-target metrics there, top 10 at least. Then you got the big-time throw percentage in the top 10. Touchdown percentage, top 5 at 5.8. The interception percentage was pretty darn good as well. And then the passer rating was top 10, and it was actually higher than Mr. Patrick Mahomes. All right, the guy that some people say is already the greatest quarterback to ever play. Now, I'm not showing you guys these numbers to say Russell Wilson is better than Patrick Mahomes. I've shown this graphic on the show a number of times over the last couple of weeks. All right, but this shows that Russell Wilson is still a pretty decent quarterback if he's still getting a higher quarterback rating than Patrick Mahomes in a system, mind you, in Sean Payton's Denver scheme that was not a match for his skill set. I think Russell Wilson is going to be even better this year with Arthur Smith and the Steelers offense with George Pickens and all the receivers they bring in. And how about the guy that just got paid $45 million per season at the same age, Kirk Cousins? I mean, Russell Wilson was more accurate than Kirk was last year. He threw for a higher touchdown percentage, higher big-time throw percentage, much higher, in fact. And then he was right in the same ballpark in terms of interception percentage and quarterback rating, all right? So Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is still a good NFL quarterback. And honestly, I can't wait to watch him play because I think that this is the perfect scheme fit with Arthur Smith, with the play-action deep shots, with George Pickens and the run game being what it's going to be this year. The defense is going to do its thing. I think the Steelers are going to be legitimate Super Bowl contenders with Russell Wilson in 2024. And barring an injury, I really don't see Justin Fields hitting the field at all as a starting quarterback option for the Steelers, at least this season. Now, when it comes to not this upcoming season, but in 2025, 2 seasons from now, who's going to be the starting quarterback of this football team? Is it still going to be Russell Wilson? Is he going to sign a new contract, type RW? Or if you think Justin Fields is the heir apparent and will take over for Russell Wilson at the end of this upcoming season, type JF down there. And if it's going to be somebody else, if you think they're going to draft somebody, or if you think they're going to get somebody else and neither of these options are going to be the quarterback in 2025, type O down in the comment section and let me know who you think is going to replace them. All right, so now that's going to be it for today's show, guys. I appreciate you. One more time, I wanted to flash my social media stuff on there, at Jack_Sperry. Again, my pinned tweet, whatever you guys want to call it, my pinned post is my latest mock draft for the NFL. If you want to see who I have the Steelers taking, it's right up on there. Then also at sparedog.football on Instagram. I appreciate all of your guys' support. I will see you guys later, and until next time, here we go, Steelers.